Hey you guys, I'm back with my 2004 Saturn project yet again. Today I'm changing out the front fender because of all that. And there's the new one over there that I got from the junkyard, which goes with all the other body panels that I have swapped over. And because of the way it's interwoven, this is a 2004, this should be the same for the 2002 to 2005. I don't know how different the bumpers are in the 06 and 07 because I do know there was a fascia change up front. But that interlocking bit that you see up here in the front interlocks into the bumper. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the bumper. And to do that, we're going to start with pulling some pins. I'm going to go ahead and this has got to come off of the fender anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull everything up top. Here we got one of the pull pins, we've got a bolt that's part of the fender. I'm going to go ahead and pull those bolts for the headlights, get them out of the way so I don't have any issues. We've got pins here and here, as well as moving on around into the fender wells. You've got two there. I went ahead and pulled the wheel because I'm going to have to pull this entire fender liner on the side I'm changing just for the ease of access. So we've got two down here for the bumper we're going to want to pull, and then a bunch more for the fender, but we'll get into that later. While I was laying on the ground looking, the ones we're going to want to pull are actually behind this piece here. So we've got pins there, over there. There it is. So three of those, it appears. I will see if there's anything else that is going to surprise us as we go along. It's relatively simple to pull the bumper. That's why I figured it would be the easiest thing to do to get to the fender. As of right now, I've just got a 10mm. I don't know what all I'm going to need, so I just grabbed some extensions, and I grabbed a deep as well as a shorter one, the ratchet, and then I've got a screwdriver that's for the fender to pull my mud flap, and then I've got the pullers for the pins because that just makes life easier. Yes, you can use a screwdriver, but I want to go fast and efficient as best as I can. Let's start pulling that bumper. Easiest thing to operate when you're using these, slip them up under, little squeeze, the head pops up, pull the head out for the ease of it, grab your other tool, sorry for the up and down, it's because I'm holding, careful not to scratch your paint, just slide in under with this guy, and it pops up like that, and fortunately it didn't go very far. But that's the demonstration of how those little guys work. You've got your portion that goes into the hole with the little legs. You've got your head that goes in to said retainer portion, and you see it's like a key the way it's shaped. So this goes in, and as it gets fully inserted flat, these legs flare out, and you see how there you go, how the base is larger than the neck area, and that keeps it from pulling out of the hole. So that's essentially how these guys work. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the pins up front, and then the three pins I showed you underneath. Alright, I also went ahead and pulled 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then this fifth one up here right before it goes in behind, so that this piece is able to be pulled out of the way so I can get a look inside here. When we're looking in, you will notice we've got a bolt here that's holding these two together. This is actually the fender bracket that bolts to the body. For the moment, I just want to break that loose from the bumper. See how it goes in. There, and pinches the bumper. So I'm going to loosen that up so we can get our bumper free. And that is a 10mm. I'm just pulling this back like this. Okay, it appears taking that bolt out has loosened our bumper up. We've got a little tab here, And then I know there's tabs up in this area that go in. I'm going to go ahead and pull the headlights up front so I can get the whole front portion of the bumper loose. And then I'm going to work on pulling the pins on this side and seeing with that tire in place if I can get to that 10 millimeter that's right about here and pull that out. And pull the headlights. It's just these two 10s. And then you just kind of lift. You have to kind of wiggle it around here and here. Gotten these two. Only bad thing about doing this in the cold. There we go. Your fingers never work right. There is a little retainer there on the body. It corresponds with this piece. That'll actually sit down in there. Mine wasn't hung in there, but sometimes they will be, so you have to be gentle with that. This one unplugs. These turn out. This one is upgraded. That's how you would remove your headlight. I'm going to do the other one. And now that we've got our headlights out, we can see there's actually this piece that's part of the bumper that comes up and goes up under and actually mounts in with our fender. So we're going to want to pull this on both sides and pull this as well. And remove this little side marker light to access the final bolts for the top of the bumper, hopefully. Sorry guys, I'm learning this as I go. This is not part of what I had taken apart at the junkyard. The front end on that car that I took the fender from was already partially removed, so, and it was messed up, so there's actually this little retainer washer thing. And this just twists out. Careful not to touch your bulbs. Let's see, it just twists in place here. You'll see here when pulling this out, it's got these little tabs that correspond with here. But there's your, it's held in by this push pin here, and then these two little tabs there. And of course the light. Interesting little thing here. This little bitty locator pin actually helps to hold this together. So see, you have to kind of free that loose. And then this portion all the way across is loose. There we go. Hopefully this is freed up enough. There you go. That side's free. Just got to kind of gently work it back to the other side. Well, I can definitely confirm you can get the bolt out like this, but oh my word, it takes forever. It would be much faster to remove the wheel to give yourself full access, because all you're able to do is just go dinka, 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 dinka. Oh gosh, okay, sorry guys, thought that was a creature of some kind. Alright, so we're still hung on something. Okay, found two more. When you're looking in on the base model grill, you got one there, and you've got one there. So I got the ones that were back behind here, so I wouldn't have to detach this, but I didn't realize about those guys. So let me pull those out. All right. If you have the auxiliary lights here, you You're going to want to reach down in here and unplug those. Let's just lift that up. Wiggle. All right, I'll do that on the other side. That second one was a little bit more difficult because it was up under the air intake thing that's up under this bumper. Watch these little tabs right here. As you take it off, they catch in the other holes. But there you go. Bumper is free. But yeah, that's what you're left with underneath. And this just sits in there to help direct air properly into the radiator. I'm also taking this guy out. This is the front of your air intake. There's a 10mm bolt here and one down in there. And oddly enough, I thought I was prepared for this video because I watched another one, but apparently I had some extra stuff that he didn't, or his was broken and had things that had already been broken versus taking it apart. So I'm going to remove that air box and show you guys. Hang on. All right, so that'll be here's some bonus footage for you. Let me get this thing out. Yeah, there was no way I was going to be able to get this out without pulling the bumper, so. Okay. And then I've got it up here. Careful, because your wiring harness is kind of wrapped up around in that. Well, if they hadn't have put that there, that's for the lighting. So I'm gonna fiddle with that, but for you guys, it should come straight out. Me, I'm gonna have to finagle, and I'd rather y'all not have to watch all that. There we go. I just had to move that little controller here off the top, and then this piece. Ooh, if I can get the light and y'all oriented. You see down in there, that little piece plugs into the front of your air box. You're going to want to wiggle that out. There you go. There you go. Apparently that's the factory air box silencer thing. I think they jokingly call it a bong. I don't ask me. I don't know. I just read it on the forums. But yeah, that convoluted air restriction twisting around 10 different ways to Sunday. I don't even know. So bye-bye. I'm gonna go live in the attic now. And during all this, will be putting a cold air intake thusly with all of this. Hopefully I can get it all routed in the spot, and that'll be the filter for the time being. So it's one I had laying around to experiment with. So ta-da, there you go. I may do a video on all that, I don't know, I haven't decided, but at least that's how you remove that and remove the bumper. So now on to the fender, because again, I'd hate to have to do that all to remove the fender, but to be safe, I would say do it. And I guess I will mention this: if you have to remove your crash bar, it looks like these are the same pull pins. Just come in behind, pull it out, pull this out, and you'd be able to get this styrofoam impact absorber. And then behind that, these are your bolts to actually remove the metal portion. I can see those from here, but I don't know if there's any more further in. There probably are, but anyway, just in case you needed to do that in a junkyard. And since we're here, just for future reference, if anybody needs to know, that's a 13 millimeter that fits on those. So hopefully if there's any additional, they would all be the same size. But at least if you get to this point and you were wanting to remove that impact absorber, the metal portion, there's 4 13s that I can see. What else is there? I don't know, but there's that. All right, to remove your fender. Moving on. 10 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 10 millimeter. We already removed this one here. So that would be 4. And I know there is a bonus one under this piece, which you access by opening the door. And you will see there is a T15 screw. Maybe you can see him better from here. Maybe coming from above. Anyway, there he is. You want to remove him, remove that piece, and there is a 10 millimeter under that. I'll show you how to do that, but just giving you an overview. Fender time. All right, got to pull the rest of these pins. Like I said, I've already pulled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have an additional on the back side. 1, 2, 3. For me, then I would also remove the mud flap. If you don't have these guys, then you'd have 2 additional, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the back. Oh, 6. Couldn't see him in the shadow. And 7, it appears, up top. 7, there's number 7. Okay. All right then. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, dozen or so, give or take. For you guys, me 10 with the screws. I'll go ahead and pull all those retainers and get this Fender splash guard. I don't get it. This is splash guard, this is a splash guard, everything's a splash guard. All right, I'll be back. All right, after you've pulled all the pins, splash guard will fall away nicely. Set him out of your way. And then we're going to take a look at what we've got left underneath, which you see this piece here. We previously removed the bolt from there to get the bumper loose. He is attached here via studs to the body. Now, you're going to want to be careful because this, if you look underneath, is riveted. You don't want to break that. My other one I broke. I'm going to have to do some contingencies to put it back together. But we're going to want to go ahead and remove this. And if you look back to the back, we've got 2 10 millimeters here, which are behind this corner piece at the front of the rocker. So you want to go in there and remove those 2 guys. So I'm going to remove these 10 millimeter here and those 10 millimeter there. And then we're going to go back up top and talk about him. All right. I looked up and noticed something. If you wanted to replace your Fender emblem, basically all you need to do is remove the splash guard. And then there he is. You can just pull him, because I'm going to swap them out, so it's going to be easier for me once it's apart. But just so you know, that's how you can access those without having to break them, because they have studs. It's just pull out your splash guard and then it's right in there. Alright, so I've gotten these guys out, gotten those guys loose. I'm not going to pull on anything yet because we still have to go up top. So So I've loosened up this T15 and take him out. And then remove this piece. So it just kind of slides. There's your pins. There's your bonus 10 millimeter. Go ahead and loosen him up. All right, there he is. He looks different than the others. So just remember him when you go to put things back together. I'm putting him by those lower ones. The others all had little plastic washers. They look like this. All the ones that came from here, 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 and here all had these little plastic washers on them. Now, I've set them all apart from each other. The one that came from up front here was longer because it also had the bumper flap in with it, so it was longer, but you see again these same little plastic washers. So try not to lose those and try to orient everybody so you can keep up with them. Now when you go to pull this off, note that this bumper kind of, the fender sits over, so you can't just yank it this way. It fits over. Here it doesn't. In the other video I saw, he actually pulled this piece. I don't believe you need to, because it actually fits down in behind. Sorry, I keep dropping the camera. It actually fits down in behind. I know this because I've already taken them apart, and you see it's not holding it there. So there you go. And again, that piece is loosened up. I'm going to check and see if there's anything else. Hang on. Upon looking at the replacement one at the junkyard, that's where we removed those two that went into the body. But if you look up here where the rockers attach, they slip in. Can't see it because of this piece of foam. So it looks like they're just little plastic tabs that you have to work with. So I'm just going to put him up, drop one light onto the floor. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to pause y'all while I get you oriented. Okay, from what I can tell, this has in here a little locking tab. Two of them actually, although I don't think this does much locking. This one is the one we're looking at. See how it's got that little slat and then it opens up here? So it looks like you actually have to walk the fender backwards ever so slightly, and then it should release this tab here. I don't want to break it. It may have been broken on the other car at the junkyard. Whoops. And that's why I didn't have to fight with it. But yeah, I'm trying to decide if I should, pull the fender and then slightly walk backwards with it as I pull it. That might be the key to get it to let loose. This is when I hate not having an extra set of hands here that can keep an eye on this. I'm guessing that's what I need to do. So I've carefully let this piece loose at the front. And again, don't let this snap. It's just held on by a rivet down below. So be careful. And I'm going to attempt to lift the bumper and slide it backwards to unlock it. That's the plan. See, there is the ability to slide within these once this is off. So come learn with me. Since there's no real good videos on all of this, I just kind of have to guess as we go. Get y'all set up in a decent spot to see this. Sorry, trying to find a good place to sit you guys. Lift up. This little foam piece up top is just glued here, don't rip him. Okay, and that's loose. There we go. No, it didn't break. Thank God. Okay. And there's this piece that sits there. There we go. All right. Ta-da! And again, there's your emblem there. I'll check and find out what size that is. Hang on. Okay, this little guy, I seem to have not hit play like I meant to. He's a 10 millimeter, just like everybody else. And then you can just push this forward to get it to come off. I believe there's some adhesive on front, so don't force it, but there you go. That's how you remove a Fender off 2004 Saturn Vue. And there's your little extra retainers you see on the other side. Be careful with him. All right. Thanks, you guys.